Hey everyone, it's Tweezers back. So today I'm going to remove these old aluminum defective caps from the Sega Game Gear. I have the replacement capacitors right here, and we're going to replace those. So I already removed one off camera. The thing about these is there's just two leads that attach to the board, but Sega in their infinite wisdom decided to epoxy the other end of the cap to the board, so these do require a little bit of wiggle room. You could pry them up. I typically just heat them, and the epoxy sold, it seems to let go, so hopefully that's what happens with the 12 that we have to remove. Alright, so let's get started on this. I got my fume extractor going because this produces a lot of smoke and you don't want to breathe this in. So you're probably hearing that in the background, and that's mostly what you're going to hear. And I'm just going to go ahead and start removing these caps here. So throw some flux on these. You're going to need it. Actually, a couple of these, they actually have to be pried up to remove because we don't want to remove the components next to them. What I'm going to try doing is just heating this and seeing if we can get the epoxy to release. Just using some isopropyl alcohol on a Q-tip to clean up these pads. I'm not pulling too hard up on these caps. I'm just letting the heat them until they become loose, and then I'm wiggling them off the board. So these larger ones will take more heat. You got to be able to heat up that epoxy to let it release. And you can really tell when this epoxy is starting to burn off because it has a foul odor. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this one. My hand's probably going to cover it. And this is a big one, so it's going to take a lot of heat. And some of these don't have as much epoxy on them too, which helps remove them. So they're probably epoxied down by hand. This one's going to be the biggest problem right here. Let's get these other two off though. Alright, let's clean this board up before I remove that last big one, which might be a problem for me. Alright, so some isopropyl alcohol here. I'm just going to clean all these up again. As you can see, these are pretty dirty. A lot of this is the epoxy that's being burned off, as well as the plastic on these old caps. So let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, there's 12 total. So let's get this last one off. All right, so this last cap, it's so close to this connector and this component here that getting an iron in there would be difficult from this angle. So what I'm going to do is see if I can just pry this. Oh, it's already loose. All right. I would recommend just prying this up, and if you bend it back and forth, it should break off. You don't want to pull on, just bend back and forth until these clips or these wires on this cap break. Okay, like so. And you can see that they're still on the board. And then what we can do is we can turn this around like so, and we can get to those with an iron without melting these components here. Let me refocus that. See, we can get to those without melting these components here. So we can just bring an iron out. Let's throw some flux on there. You're definitely gonna need flux on this. This is old solder, very old. And we can just come in with the iron. We'll grab the piece that's left over with our tweezers. We'll heat up the solder, and it just releases like so. And that way you don't melt or damage any of the components around this. Ooh, this other one's not releasing. Might have to add some more flux to this. Oh, there we go, we got it. All right, let's go ahead and clean this up with some isopropyl alcohol and a Q-tip. All right, and that's how you remove the caps on a Sega Game Gear. So there's a total of 12. Here they all are. And what I'll do is I'll show a picture in the video showing which caps should be removed. I have it posted on my website in the forum for the Sega Game Gear. But that's the video for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. So the next video is going to show me putting these caps back on this, and I'm going to show that underneath the microscope too, so you can see a closer viewpoint. I'm not including in this video because I think 20 minutes is long enough, and most people probably aren't going to watch beyond that. So look for that next video.